Bruce, wake up.
Batman will get to meet his father again, and that's all because of the Flash and the mess he created when he went back in time to try to save his mother. But when he did that, he accidentally created an alternate history where young Bruce Wayne was murdered with his mother in Crime Alley. So his father, Thomas Wayne, is the one who became Batman. And it's in that insane altered reality, a world ravaged by a war between Wonder Woman's Amazons and Aquaman's Atlanteans, that our mainline Batman is about to come face to face with that living version of his dad, leading to one of the most difficult and heartbreaking moments in Batman's history.
We're down to the final minutes here, folks. Gotham City Arena, Game 7.
Our story begins in the cold, grim halls of Arkham Asylum. While a violent hockey game between the Gotham Blades and Metropolis Mammoths plays on a small television screen, a blonde-haired inmate completely loses her mind. This is Saturn Girl, a telepathic hero from the 31st century. She grabs her head in sheer agony, screaming out into the void.
Stop it! Can't you see? Superman won't come! Our friends will die. The Legion will die.
She's absolutely terrified of a future that no one else can see, feeling the subtle manipulation of a godlike entity, slowly rearranging the fabric of the DC universe. Meanwhile, deep within the subterranean quiet of the Batcave, Batman sits in front of an enormous bank of monitors. He isn't fighting crime tonight. He's hyper-focused on one tiny, impossible object. The button. A bright yellow smiley face with a single drop of blood. He twirls it between his fingers. He tosses it onto the table, right next to the Psycho Pirate's mask. Now, if you know your DC lore, then you know that Psycho Pirate is one of the very few beings who actually remembers the pre-crisis multiverse. So the moment the button and the mask are close, a violent spark of temporal lightning erupts, thrusting him to the floor. And when he looks up, he doesn't see an enemy. He sees a ghost. A man in a darker batsuit who sounds just like his dad.
Bruce, father?
The vision of his father fades as quickly as it appeared. Bruce, deeply shaken, instantly calls the one man who understands the impossible physics of time and space.
Barry, something's happened with the button. Can you come to the cave?
The Flash, currently busy fighting off a horde of samurai, replies that he needs exactly 1 minute. Batman stands ready, staring at the empty space where his father just stood. Suddenly, the Batcave crackles with aggressive red lightning, and Bruce turns, expecting his friend.
You said 1 minute, Flash. I never expected you to be...
The Flash? No, quite the reverse, actually.
It was Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, standing in the Batcave. But he shouldn't be here. He's supposed to be dead. But as he explains, a strange power called out to him, resurrecting him. And with 53 seconds left until Barry arrives, Thawne decides to use his free time to absolutely torture Batman. Now, we all know that Batman with prep time is virtually unbeatable. But Batman caught completely off guard by a psychotic speedster? It's a brutal bloodbath. Thawne vibrates through Bruce's attacks, pummeling him with supersonic right and left hooks. He grabs Bruce by the cowl, dragging him across the cave, smashing him into his own glass trophies. And then, Thawne does the unthinkable. He picks up the letter that Thomas Wayne wrote to Bruce during the Flashpoint event, the most precious thing Bruce Wayne owns.
What have we got here?
Thawne smirks with pure malice and rips it to shreds,
No!
tossing the pieces into the air like confetti.
Oh, yes.
With 29 seconds remaining, Batman is bleeding, battered, but his eyes are burning with a primal rage. He knows he can't match Thawne's speed, but as Thawne vibrates to phase through attacks, Batman remembers one fundamental rule about speedsters.
When you blur, you can't stand still unless something's touching the ground.
What?
Batman drives a batarang straight through Reverse Flash's foot, pinning him to the floor. Bruce gets up, delivering brutal, heavy punches, but Thawne recovers and Sonic claps him, sending Bruce crashing into his giant computer monitors.
You have to know you can't win.
Oh, I know, but I don't need to win. I just need 11 seconds.
But 11 seconds is a lifetime for a speedster. And at the 1 second mark, Barry doesn't arrive. He's late. So Thawne beats Batman to a bloody pulp, knocking him out cold. And then, Thawne walks over to the button, picks it up, but then mysteriously vanishes into the time stream. and a split second later, he returns. Only now, his body is engulfed in blue, disintegrating fire. Half of his face is burned down to the bone. He falls to his knees, utterly broken.
God, I saw God.
And just like that, Eobard Thawne dies. And that's when Barry finally arrives.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Only to find the Batcave in absolute ruins. Bruce unconscious, and his greatest enemy dead as a skeleton. So needless to say, Barry has questions. Sometime later, we see Barry in the Batcave, running forensics on the dead body of his former enemy. He's able to reconstruct the entire scene, trace the origin of every single trace of blood that stems from this brutal beatdown. But what he still doesn't understand is, who killed Thawne, and why? And since the surveillance equipment was fried by Thawne's lightning, he has no visuals. So he runs back to see the only witness he has, Bruce, who can hardly sit after getting so badly beaten up. But as the two greatest detectives in the DC universe begin to piece this impossible puzzle together, Flash points out that Thawne's corpse has temporal vibrations that suggest he traveled through space and time before coming back to die. But then Bruce explains that the biggest mystery remains the button.
We researched that button for months and found nothing. The blood on it didn't match any of the samples in any of our labs.
Its origin was a mystery. But that's when Flash reminds him that there was something else Bruce said he'd seen when he first called for help. So Bruce explains that it was a vision of his father, and Flash immediately realized that it had to be coming from the Flashpoint timeline. But there's a problem. That timeline wasn't even supposed to exist anymore. So in order to find out why it still exists, the most important clue in all this is that the mysterious smiley button was gone. It didn't come back with Thawne. Not only that, but Batman points out that if Thawne was drawn to it, it couldn't have been by coincidence. So yeah, the plot thickens. But then, with no explanation to Bruce, Barry rushes to the Justice League Watchtower, where they store their most dangerous artifacts. And when he arrives, he ponders the things he didn't want to tell Bruce back at the Batcave. Like the fact that traces of his own Speed Force were found on Thawne's body, or that massive amounts of a special radiation were saturating the corpse. Far more than could have come from the button alone, proving there is much more to this mystery than just a yellow smiley face and a drop of blood. Which reminded Barry of the conversation he had with Wally West on the night he finally returned. Now, if you remember the epic DC Universe Rebirth event, Wally had been trapped in the Speed Force, entirely erased from existence after Flashpoint. When he finally broke out and Barry remembered him, Wally brought a terrifying warning from the void.
Wally said a force more powerful than Darkseid was watching us, that they made changes to our lives to hurt us.
Barry knows they are dealing with a multiversal predator, and because of that, he decides to take on this time-bending mission completely solo, believing that this is a case that not even Batman could help him to solve. And that's when he stops in front of a large, covered machine. He pulls a massive tarp off the cosmic treadmill. It's the device he swore he'd never use again after creating the Flashpoint universe. Flash stands alone before the cosmic treadmill in the Justice League Watchtower. He knows the stakes, but he also knows it's the only way to get answers. But just as he steps up, guess who shows up?
You really think I would let you go alone? This is my case too, Barry.
Bruce? How did you know?
The Volt's alarm went off.
Bruce, with your injuries, you should be in bed. You can't.
I've been hit harder.
But Barry knows that Bruce doesn't fully grasp the sheer magnitude of what they're about to do. This isn't a standard Justice League mission.
Bruce, when I've used the cosmic treadmill in the past, I knew exactly where and when I was going. And even then, it was like trying to catch a single snowflake in a blizzard.
But Bruce, completely unbothered by the warning and driven solely by the desecration of his father's letter, cuts him off.
We're wasting time.
Realizing there's absolutely no stopping the Dark Knight, Barry pushes the machine past the speed of light, tearing through the fabric of the time stream. A blinding white light engulfs them with a massive, deafening sound. But almost immediately, the time stream starts violently fighting back.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Barry is visibly worried.
This turbulence is making it hard to keep the treadmill steady.
Look.
And that's when, all around them, they see alternate histories. Timelines where heroes died, where the world is different. But behind them, a massive temporal storm is catching up. Barry tries to outrun it, but the storm hits them with full kinetic force, throwing them both violently out of the time stream.
Flash.
Don't let Go!
They crash hard onto a cold, rocky floor, and as the smoke clears, Bruce looks around, realizing that he's landed in the Batcave, but it's much darker, more brutal. And then he sees the glass case holding the handgun that killed his parents. A chilling realization washes over him. He lowers his cowl.
How is it here? I never recovered it.
Suddenly, a gruff voice echoes from the shadows.
I did this all because of you, son.
Bruce turns, and standing before him, older, weary, and wearing a darker mantle of the bat, is Thomas Wayne. Batman has just met his father. In that heart-stopping moment, where the two Batmen finally lock eyes, the shock in the cave is absolutely palpable.
Son, it can't be.
Thomas stares at the face of the boy he lost decades ago.
Bruce, it is you, isn't it? How? Why? What's going on, Flash?
I don't...
No, it's a trick. This has all been some cruel joke.
Dr. Wayne, this isn't a trick or a joke. This is your son.
This isn't real.
Barry vibrates just in time to escape Thomas's grip as he tries to explain the impossible reality they find themselves in.
Dr. Wayne, please, listen. Something's gone wrong. It's been months since the timeline was repaired, since I left you and changed it all back. But someone else, something else, kept the flashpoint going. Thawne, maybe. We were trying to follow his trail, and now we're here.
Barry kneels down, unaware that the Amazons and Atlanteans have entered the Wayne Manor just above them, hunting down Batman. As Barry places his hand on the cave floor to read the temporal vibrations, he admits that he has no answers.
How is that possible? Since the flashpoint was never an alternate world, but an alternate history that shouldn't exist anymore.
But what's even more worrying is that Flash also realizes that someone is using this timeline to haunt them somehow, but he doesn't know who or what. All he knows is that this ghost timeline is now actively collapsing around them, so they don't have much time. And he quickly needs to fix the shattered cosmic treadmill, telling them he just needs a minute. But Thomas looks up at the ceiling and tells Flash,
We don't have a minute.
Ready to face this army of Amazon and Atlantean assassins, Thomas tells Bruce and Barry to run as he holds them off with his guns. But Bruce knocks the gun off with his batarang and tells his father,
We're all leaving.
Thomas reluctantly accepts, and both Batmen drop their cowls, completely synced in their fighting style. It's a deadly dance of shadows, gadgets, and broken bones, all while Flash is trying to fix the treadmill as fast as he can. And as he does, Bruce and his dad, who had knocked out all of their foes by then, exchange a memory from Bruce's childhood. That time when Thomas rescued a young Bruce out of the Batcave he'd fallen in, teaching his son a lesson that Bruce had long since forgotten. Meanwhile, the Flash got the treadmill ready and lets them know it's time to go, as it seems whatever or whoever was causing the Flashpoint timeline to stay alive had mysteriously decided to let go. With the world dissolving around them, Bruce turns to his father, raw desperation in his voice.
Your letter, it was the greatest gift anyone has ever given me. But even though I knew there was no way for me to respond, all I wanted you to know was, you're a grandfather. I have a son.
Batman, the treadmill is at full power without me on it. It's going to leave with or without us.
Come with me, father. Please.
But instead,
Go!
Thomas just violently throws him onto the cosmic treadmill with Barry. Bruce tries to fight against the treadmill's immense pull, but Thomas stands his ground as the white void begins to swallow the cave.
You were my world, son. You're the greatest gift this life gave to me. And there is more I should have said in that letter. So listen to me. Don't be Batman. Find happiness. You don't have to do this. Let the Batman die with me.
But Batman refuses.
We can save you.
But as Bruce disappears from the timeline, Thomas simply responds,
You already have.
and in his last moments, Thomas can hear the echoes of the lesson he taught to Bruce in that very cave.
Why are you whispering, Dad?
Because we don't want to scare the bats, Bruce.
I'm sorry I fell into the cave, Dad.
Sometimes we fall. But remember, Waynes don't stay down. We rise!
Back in the chaotic swirl of the time stream, Bruce is utterly devastated. He tries to convince Barry to turn back, but Flash tells him there's nothing left. That world is gone forever. But that's when suddenly, Barry is shocked to see the Reverse Flash running past them on the same time stream track.
Coming through, Flash.
But this is Thawne, right after leaving the Batcave, running towards his own inevitable death. Barry screams at him to stop, warning him that he's running into his own end. But Thawne, arrogant as always, gloats that he is a living paradox, so he's impossible to kill.
You have no idea the things I've seen, Alan. And I know who the power of the button belongs to. And they've never faced someone like me.
Reverse Flash continues to barrel forward, breaking away from the main time stream, as Barry tries to warn him.
Thawne, I've seen your future. If you keep following that trail, whatever you're running to, it will kill you.
But Thawne ignores him, and that's when a powerful blue flash of thunder strikes them, as a faint voice whispers out from the void.
Barry, I'm here.
Did you hear that, Barry?
Asks Batman, puzzled by the voice, but Flash disregards him, saying,
Any visions we're seeing, any sounds, all of them are from moments that could have been, but weren't. Don't listen to them, Bruce.
My father wasn't a vision, Barry. He was real.
Meanwhile, Reverse Flash continues to taunt them before snapping his fingers and opening a portal that takes him to a mysterious dimension in time. When he arrives there, Thawne looks down at the button in his hand, feeling the immense static electricity. Immediately, Reverse Flash recognizes that whoever is here is the strange power behind the shifting chaos in the timeline, and he wants answers.
Hello. You don't have to be shy. I can feel your presence. You've done such strange things to the timeline, but I am the only constant in a sea of possibilities. I cannot be erased. By you. By anyone. Show yourself.
But then, Reverse Flash is filled with dread as he realizes who he's really taunting.
My God. Wait, I didn't know. Please, I don't want to.
Did you hear that?
Thawne, he's gone.
Meanwhile, the destruction of Thawne causes a massive shockwave in the time stream. Flash and Batman are thrown off the now completely broken treadmill, tumbling through the terrifying void of space and time. Barry and Bruce are both clinging to the broken machine and are about to be sucked in. But then, it's that voice again.
Barry, I'm right here.
Listen to the voice, Barry. Grab onto it.
We have no idea where it's going to take us.
We've got no other choice.
Right here. Just say my name. Jay.
Jay.
Barry is totally confused, but suddenly, a crackle of yellow lightning pierces the void, and an older man in a silver helmet with wings emerges from the stream. It's Jay Garrick, the original Flash.
I'm free.
He grabs them both, fighting against the erasure of the time stream, and he hurls Bruce and Barry back into the Batcave in the present day. Jay stands before them, smoking and exhausted. He begs Barry to remember him, telling him that someone stole his life. Someone manipulated all of this. Barry looks at him, trying so hard to remember, just like he did with Wally West before. But he can't.
Wally told me I forgot things. People. Someone did this. But do you know who?
They took everything from me, Barry. I don't know how, and I don't know why. But Barry, you have to.
But before Jay can finish his sentence, a giant bolt of blue lightning strikes the Batcave, wrapping around Jay, and violently ripping him back into the Speed Force. The entity has reclaimed him, as Barry and Bruce try to make sense of what had just happened, with Reverse Flash laying dead right next to them. The next day, Bruce and Barry go visit the cemetery before the graves of Thomas and Martha Wayne. And Barry's still processing what happened. He suggests that maybe Thawne's death triggered the temporal anomalies. Maybe the case is finally closed, but Bruce knows better.
I appreciate you trying to close the case, Barry, but it's far from closed.
So what? Our primary suspect is God?
For now, that's all we have.
The two heroes walk away. Later that night, Bruce is standing in Wayne Manor, looking out the window at the dark Gotham skyline. His father's final words echo in his mind.
Don't be Batman. Find happiness. Let the Batman die with me.
And out in the vast, cold emptiness of space, floating on a chunk of red rock, the blood-stained smiley face button sits quietly, Slowly, a glowing blue hand reaches down and picks it up. A voice, calm, detached, and utterly absolute, echoes through the void.
Why does my perception of time distress you? Everything is preordained, even my responses. We're all puppets, Lori. I'm just a puppet who can see the strings.
Hey Overlords, thanks so much for watching, and I really hope you'll subscribe to this channel, because the rest of this story,
As well as many others, is to be continued.